Oh, can you hear me now? Hopefully that should fix it. Apologize. Should be fixed. Once again, sorry about that, everybody. Should be fixed now. Audio should be working, it looks like now. So thank you guys, everybody, for joining. Like I said, I see there's about 6 people out there. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been out here. Like I said, I can make excuses. I was sick 1 week. Kids brought home the first flu. Yeah, first flu of the year. So yeah, I just missed a day there, and then I had school with me the following week, and I just did not feel like going live when I got home at 9:30, almost 10 o'clock that night. It was a rough meeting, so it just happens at the school, and that's what happens. So with the excuses out of the way, I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining in. Glad to have everybody back here again, and we're going to continue to stay on our Tuesday nights, as always, about 9 p.m. Central Time. So from now on, we'll be back on schedule. Should be back on track. I know I've got some situations going on at school, so I can't 100% promise this, but my intentions are to try and be here every Tuesday night, at least some way in capacity. So today I want to be talking about fall investments in 2024. Of course, we got a lot of Pokemon investments coming forward. Fall season, always a big time for individuals. If you're looking at it for the investment side, and even looking at those short-term investments, a lot of us have been packing on pounds when it comes down to cardboard right now throughout the summer. The last 6 months, a lot of individuals such as myself have been packing on a lot of inventory, holding on to a lot of product, really building up our reserves on products. And that's because of the knowledge that we have for the short-term investments, or potentially ways to make investments pay for themselves and hold on for a long, long period of time if you would like. So this is the time of year where we're going to rotate things around and now start to be looking at capitalizing on these investments to make back our income or make income on these particular products. So fall season gets to be fun, guys. There's going to be a lot of opportunities coming as well. We got Black Friday sales coming, of course, within the next month. We have all these different products coming through. We got Surging Sparks right now. I don't know. Some people are saying that they can't find product and not. I can still readily get it from my distributor, so I don't know why people are saying that they can't find product. I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, I could call up my distributor and add more to my order. So it's not like it's a hard item to find. Is it going to be a $200? I saw Eli and Nostalgianomics podcast there. Do I think that it's going to be a $200 booster box really quickly? No, I don't think it's going to perform quite as... I think it'll perform similar, possibly, as Twilight Masquerade. I think that Pikachu is going to have a little bit of luster at the beginning. It's going to be very popular just because it's a Pikachu at the beginning. But I don't feel that it's as strong of a Pikachu as some other ones that there could have possibly been. I think that there's some better artworks for Pikachus, and I think it could potentially lose its luster fairly quickly. It's really going to depend on the pull rate and Surging Sparks. So we will find that out next Friday on how well that's going to perform. So that's really going to be an interesting factor when it comes into the fall season here. More news should be coming out. We're seeing more and more information now in the next set coming. So we got Team Rocket set coming. We're finding out more information on that currently. More drops and releases are coming out on that as this set's being released, which is pretty typical for the Pokemon TCG. So we're getting a little bit more of a glimpse on what we're seeing in that particular set as well. And once again, Black Friday, guys. Black Friday has some great deals. So it's still an opportunity for some great deals. But Black Friday is also a great time for you to get sales as well. So I do always put that out there that if you are looking for that turnaround where you may want to sell part of your inventory that you've purchased in the summer months at a low price and try and turn that into a profit, or try to turn it so that you don't hold on, have money stuck on the shelf, then you can definitely have a great opportunity to do that right now coming up into this fall season. So overall, guys, I think there's some great opportunities for investment. Pokemon 151 investments are doing fantastic. Again, if you can find Pokemon 151 at a MSRP pricing anywhere right now, I don't hesitate to buy. I just got some Zapdos collection boxes. Those did come out at my Walmart. I bought them. I didn't even hesitate. There's 3 people. There's a kid. Grabbed one, and I grabbed 4 of them right away. I think that they're a fantastic buy. Poster collections are still coming through. They're showing up at Dollar Generals. They're showing up at Walmart. I've seen people now in other areas showing this week that they're getting ETBs. So Pokemon 151 ETBs might be hitting your Targets, Walmarts, and other stores here this week as well. So definitely be watching for that. ETB is another one. They're $55 in ETB, but right now they're $90 in ETB on TCG Player. So right away, intrinsic value. You've got that EV inside of there already putting inside without any work, without any weight. You already have value currently. Now that may drop if these hit the shelves, but that kind of tells you where the perspective of his 151 is that we're going to see that value come back. I have no question that the value will remain in 151. It's probably going to be one of the strongest sets that we're going to see so far in Scarlet and Violet. Do I think it'll hold up? It potentially will hold up, I think, possibly to the end. It really depends on the development of these sets. Team Rocket and Gym Challenge sets are definitely going to be the two that's really going to be questionable on how well they perform, and see what we get out of those. I think they're going to do great as well. So those might be our three best sets coming out of this particular era. Surging Sparks, I don't think it's going to do it as well. I don't think it's going to hold up. It's going to fall, kind of slow down a little bit. I think it's going to end up around that Twilight Masquerade, and a reprint of either one of those sets could really cause some issues when it comes down to those two. Other things that I would definitely be checking on is single prices. Single prices are going all over the place again. I don't know what's shifting. I don't know if it's just because of the fact that we're past worlds and new rotation. They know people are understanding new rotations coming up, but we're seeing a lot of different singles getting increased value in them. Some of the older cards are now moving in price really well. We're starting to see some of the alternate arts, again, back in Sword and Shield doing well. Trainer Gallery cards are making slow movements up now, which is what I like to see, them slow little choppy stair-step movements up, which is more of a organic growth rather than maybe a hype and FOMO growth, which is great. That's what we want to see on those particular cards. That's what I like to see in charts. It tells me I feel a little bit more secure of moving into those particular items, is when you see that slow stair-step growth rather than a straight up. Because, I mean, I talked about that when those investments where everybody was jumping on trainer galleries and how much they accelerated, and I warned at that point it could stay up. I'm never going to say that they won't stay up in price, but historically, through probably 99% of investments or 99% of products, is that when they shoot straight like a rocket up, they usually hit a hyperbole and then they fall back. And they fall back probably back to where they should have been, or sometimes even further behind that particular point, because then you get that hype and FOMO of people buying into something, and then you get that dread that everything's falling apart, so then it just completely falls out. So those are all symptoms that we saw back when those trainer gallery cards were coming, and I think that right now a lot of those cards are doing a lot better on that end as well. Same thing with some of the promo cards that are out there currently as well. Even side of the ETBs, some of those promos as well that are on the Pokemon Center ones especially, we're seeing that nice stair-step growth. We're seeing that nice stair-step growing pattern on these, and that's exactly what I like to see when it comes down to an investment. If you're looking at jumping into something, when you see that kind of growth, it's a little bit more enticing to me to jump in on that rather than these rocket ship up pricing, because once again, you get that correction, and that correction can sometimes be more detrimental than the actual original, where you were originally with that particular product. So overall, seeing some good things. Right now, definitely, if you jumped in on some trainer galleries and we're trying to get some good pricing on there, there's definitely some great opportunities. Evolving Skies alternate arts guys are just doing great. Any of the alternate arts coming out of Evolving Skies right now are just flying. I mean, we're seeing some of them going over $200. Even some of the VMAXs, I think the Glaceon and the Leafeon VMAX are both crossing the almost up to $250 now for those particular cards. We're seeing a lot of the other evolution cards that are sitting there coming up into that mid 100s, 150, 175s. Even the Dragonite card right now is up to 125. So we're seeing some really good value and growth on those particular cards. Once again, slower growth, not that shooting growth. We're seeing that nice, steady growth. And when you're looking at a Pokemon investment, that's the one thing that I will always stress is that sometimes you're better to just kind of sit back and wait on some of them and wait for that steady growth to start occurring before you jump in on it. Because when you start seeing steady growth, that means that you're seeing the supply and demand system working, and you're seeing it work its way out. You're seeing the supply be there, and then the supply gets eaten up, the price goes up. Someone brings a little bit more supply, the price goes down just a little bit, and then it goes up past that original point, and then someone brings a little bit more stock on it, and then it goes down just a little bit, not as far as the low next down, and then you slowly see that stair stepping up. That is natural and organic supply and demand growth, which is what you want to see. And it's the same thing with a stock, guys. That's what you look for in a stock as well, is you're looking for that nice stair stepping growth that shows an upward trajectory. So if you take if you want to do a few days, a month, a year, you get to see that nice, if you were to draw a straight line, you start seeing that straight line starting to grow across the 2 points across that particular graph. When you start averaging it out, you start seeing a nice upward trend growth, and you can actually sit there and see what the percentage difference is between that high and that low over a 4-month, 6-month period. So that's a fantastic point that we want to get to. That's a great place to see things going. And once again, I think that there are some really, really good opportunities coming right now in some of the Sword and Shield products, especially. I know some people are even putting in my comments that if you want to grow your channel, you must talk about this stuff. The problem is that Scarlet and Violet still isn't maturing yet. I think that it may mature here in a few months or years. It's going to take a little bit longer. This is feeling more like Sun and Moon, early Sun and Moon specifically. A lot of stuff is just a little bit slow. It just doesn't get the traction that a lot of people are hoping for. Certain things do pop off as we're coming into last year. This is usually the point in the TCG timeline of Pokemon where we'll see some really fancy things start showing up. I mean, Surging Sparks now has got that new Terrasolite. I mean, we've got it inside of Stellar Crown as well. That new Terrasolized cards inside of there as well. So we've got a new rarity or a new chase style inside of there. That's going to continue into Surging Sparks. Are we going to see something in the last 4 sets? Because we're already into the last year of Scarlet and Violet, which is really, really hard to believe that we've been in Scarlet and Violet this long. It doesn't feel like it's been this long. But overall, investment markets still looking really well. They're not accelerating like they used to be. They just feel like more post or pre. I want to say they're back to like the pre-COVID era, that pre-boom stuff where we were seeing all those crazy accelerations. We're now seeing that more steady, happy growth when it comes down to things. This is where we talk about you could be at a 5 to 7 years growth period in these particular products. One may shoot. You could hedge your bets and cover a couple booster boxes of everything just to make sure maybe something all of a sudden explodes for some reason. At least you won't miss it. But in general, taking your time and really choosing sets and really breaking down sets for what you think will do really well, or what you enjoy, or what you see people enjoying might be better off than just blanket investments at this point in time. Just because of the fact that even Sun and Moon, there are sets that did extremely well, and there are sets that have not done anything. And these are all factors that could continue to happen as we move forward. I'm just seeing here, I just saw iPhone on that talking about it, grading as well. I'm seeing grading doing so-so. Once again, if you don't get that 10 though, I'm still not seeing any kind of value in these graded cards if you don't get 10s. And that sucks because generally speaking, 50, even in the best graded card areas, they're 50-50. So you're always playing that 50-50 risk typically, as long as you know how to pre-grade fairly well, of getting that 9. And if you get a 9, you could go under the value of the raw card on a lot of occasions, which really, really sucks that even at a 9 grade, which is still a gem mint, which is still authenticating that card and still putting it in a case that shows that it's real. And when you go to sell it, you think that if someone can prove that it's authentic in a PSA case, that would give it a little bit more validity at a 9 than a raw card would that you're just buying off of eBay. But in most cases, it doesn't. And that really sucks. I mean, even if you go ahead and take a look at, if you were to go buy a Lugia right now off of TCG Player and you paid the money for it, if you got a 9, it's actually $10 cheaper than the raw card. If you get the 10, it does fantastic. I mean, that's another factor as well. So you get that boost when you get that 10, but you lose money if you do a 9. And 9s are always those things. It really sucks. You got an authenticated card. Once again, you get that authentication of that card, which proves that it's real. It's been looked at. It's still, a 9 isn't bad. It's still a great condition card. But I've been sitting there, and a lot of times, even for my binder collections, if I want a good card and a good clean card right now, I'm buying 9s for binders collections because the value of the 9 isn't there. I keep them in the slab, but I mean, if I don't feel that it's ever going to go up in value for what I paid for it, or I feel that it's always going to be behind, then I'll just crack it and put it in a binder or sell it raw. Sometimes you can make more money on these cards, even futuristically, by them being raw than buying the 9s. So grading is still one of them things that I just don't sometimes understand the mindset behind people buying graded cards. I understand, you want the top grade, you want all this value, but a lot of times to me, it's still an arbitrary number. It's not really, there's not like you can't take the same card, grade it 3 times, and get the same grade. There isn't a single place that I think that you could do that. Maybe AGS. I've done experiments with AGS, and I've come out the same grade twice. I haven't done it a third time. And that's a real factor is to me with grading on how arbitrary things are. You could get a 9 one time, you can get an 8 another time, and you can get a 10 the next time. And it's the same card. You did nothing but take it out of the plastic. So these are things that I really drives me crazy about the grading market, and why personally I have really backed out of the grading market. That and the overall cost for a new person going into grading right now is a little bit ridiculous as well. Unless you're willing to drop a huge sum of money right now into the grading, you're not getting deals. You're not getting any of the promotional stuff. You're not getting the availability to be able to be, to start in that market without a huge sum of money or paying a large amount to get that them smaller grading amounts. So that's another factor as well. To me, looking at it, there's almost no real good reason to even have the $99 membership to PSA unless you're sending large volumes. If you're a small person and you were only going to be thinking about sending maybe lots of 10 cards at a time or 15 cards at a time to get started, and you bought that $99 PSA membership, you're not getting value for that right now because you're still paying the $25 a card to get them graded. So this doesn't make sense at that point. And I know right now there's the grade, or GameStops are now taking graded cards and doing the graded thing too. Some people, I actually just saw IT's just talked about it as well. You could actually do that as well. And you can sit there and go and take these cards to GameStop, and they'll actually submit them to PSA as well. That's another way to do it. It's probably a good way to get people to start grading. And right now, if you were going to take an opportunity and try and get your best opportunity at grading right now and get started in it, GameStop's probably one of your best places to do that as well. Because, to be honest with you, they're giving a better price than you can get with a PSA with the membership for a low quantity of cards. And if you want to sell immediately, they'll buy them off of you too. So they'll buy the cards when you get them in, and you could potentially just swing them that way as well. So if you feel that this PSA card isn't going to sell very quickly, or it didn't get the 10, it's a little bit lower grade, you could dump them right there at GameStop too, without having to worry about any extra fees, such as eBay fees or those kind of things as well. So definitely some things to be considering when you're maybe starting out in the grading market. That might be a good way to do it. If you're going to be dropping, 100 cards at a time, then the $100 membership and taking advantage of those promotions and those things right now are definitely a great way to do it as well. And I know there's going to be someone who comes in the comments after this and says, some weird comment about PSA grading. That's just my feelings. Once again, everything I say here is my opinion, and it's just how I feel. So that's exactly what I'm telling you is my feelings on this. That's just where I'm at. I know that PSA grading, some people are diehard PSA grading, and that's the only way they'll go. I've personally been doing a little bit more grading for my personal collection through AGS. Once again, it's robo grading. I feel like it's got a less biasness to it. It's a little bit more straightforward, and it is what it is. And so far, I've sent several cards back to grading a second time, and they came back the exact same grade. Just testing it. I wanted to see how close it was, and then you can go online and see the online scores for those particular cards, and they were within like 0.02 on the decimal places. So they were right there. So that to me is very, very impressive and me being in the manufacturing world before and seeing that and seeing how precise this equipment can be, and the fact that they are pulling that off on these cards, that when they put them back in, they are getting it within like down to 2 decimal places of accuracy or repeatability on 2 times. Now I'd be curious if it would do it a 3rd time. That's the real question is how many times can you send that same card back? And if I had more time and money, I would probably do that and just send like the same 5 cards back like 10 times. Let's see an average. Let's see how good you are. Granted, you might get some surface damage on there, and then that machine should pick up that new surface damage as well, and you would continually just roll it through and see. Because the corner, the centering, the edge, you might get some whitening on it, but, realistically, the corner should always be the same. The dimension shouldn't change unless you damage that somehow or hit it. The centering should never change. It should always be the same. If you send something in that, like BGS is always my favorite one, that Leonhardt, I always love watching his videos. That you watch him send it in and it'd get a 10 for centering this time, and it'd come back the next time with an 8 for centering, and he'd send it again and it'd come back with an 8 or a 9 for centering. So you got 3 different grades on a Charizard one time from BGS. How does the centering change? The centering is honestly the only number on that whole grading thing that is a set, besides shearing the card like they've done in sports. But unless you shear the edges, the centering can't change. It is what it is. it's a nominal number that's measurable. So why aren't they measuring it to be consistent? It's easy to do. So these are all things, when it comes down to grading. Well, I really do have a hard time with grading. I think it's good if you think you can get tens. If you're good at pre-grading, and you get good tens, even the ones I've sent out. My last submission that I did came back about 2 months ago. I still got about 85% tens out of my pre-grading, which is, to me, doing fairly well. I've never gotten 100%, but anything above 80% on my pre-grading is always a really good opportunity, really good for pre-grading. So wasn't too upset about it, but when it came back, but it's just I sit there and consider newer people, and if you want this hobby to grow, we need individuals that continue to come in. I mean, people leave, and if nobody replaces them, then you start to have a slack in the market, and the slack in the market could be a problem. Still seeing new people, though. It's fantastic. Even when I go places, I went to a card show here 4 weeks ago. We went to a card show a week before I was supposed to go to Chicago. And that one, new people, tons of new people. I was sitting at a booth with a guy, and he said, I heard so many people going, I'm new in the hobby. What's a good card? I'm new in the hobby. What are the popular cards? I'm new in the hobby. They're asking questions. They're trying to learn about the hobby, and that's a fantastic feel as well. So overall, like I said, guys, that's kind of my rant right now. When it comes down to fall, we've got some good investment opportunities, and if you have been collecting all summer, this is when you should really be loading up and being ready. November gets to be a really hot point for sales. I'm loading up things for sales. I know a lot of other individuals are starting to load up for sales. TikTok is going to be running they've already given us the information on the Black Friday specials, so we've got some good Black Friday specials coming. It gives us that opportunity right now to really drive sales through the holiday season, which is great. So you probably, if you've been loading up all summer, this is the time to be looking at those avenues for that and be looking for those people looking for, number one, those deals that other sites are maybe promoting and pushing for you. And number two, just in general, people are looking for things. So if you've got some older Sword and Shield products, or you've got some older things that have a lot of interest, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, all of those sets right in there, those alternate art sets from Sword and Shield, all of which we may see some really good growth on those particular sets, see some really good movement at least. You might see a lot more sales. So if you're trying to balance your budgets out, trying to get some of that money that you have, stored on the shelf behind you, and you want to start capturing some of that money back, leave some behind for that long-term investment that you want to hold, sell some of it now in order to be able to recoup some of that money to be able to put into the next investment that you've been sitting on all summer long. Now is going to be the time for those investments to take place. Plus, we're going to have some Black Friday sales too, where you could reverse it and get some of those coupons to be able to get some of those investment items that you may have wanted, or some of those products or pieces, them collection pieces that you've been waiting on, might now be the time coming up to get those opportunities. So just keep that in mind as we're moving into the holiday season. A lot of things will start moving here now that it's getting cold outside. Funny thing is it was just 72 degrees here in Wisconsin, and then 2 days from now it's going to be snowing. So it's going to be really interesting to see what this winter is going to do. But when people start getting pinned down inside for the wintertime, that's really when we're going to see the changes, and when we're really going to see things, we'll get a real feel for where things are going to be here in the markets. But other than that, guys, that's my rant. I'm just going to quick go through a chat because I see you guys have been busy, which is great. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in and joining us. Samurai 7, thank you so much, and thank you for letting me know about that. Blitzkrieg, thank you so much for being in as well. Wayne, thank you for joining live this evening. iFOMO, as always, my number one mod, is here this evening. Thank you so much. Green Emoji Dude, thank you so much for being here as well. Grim the Nerd, thank you so much. Pokemami, thank you so much for jumping in as well. Glad to see you here. Altcoin View is here as well. Thank you so much. Mason Berry in the house. Another one of my favorite mods joining us this evening. Thank you so much. Who else we got? I don't think I got everybody. Looks like it. I don't see anybody new hanging around. So hit that like button, guys. Yes, thank you so much for that. Green Emoji Do. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well. Greatly appreciated to kick things off. My throat's still a little dry from being sick a couple weeks ago. So I hope I don't lose my voice, but it's getting a little scratchy here. Blitzkrieg, he said they can't get product at regular pricing like it was beginning of the month. Now it's like $800 a case with shipping and tax. Yeah. Well, even $800. I'm seeing even pre-sales for Surging Spark right now, and I know that's going back to Surging Spark. Um, so if I go right now to distributor, if you guys want Surging Sparks booster boxes, let me know. I think I can still get them for like 100 and let me see if I can still get them. Before I say I can get them, let me check it out real quick. Because I can see if I can still get them. So I can still get them for $103. So like I said, I don't know why there's this deal. I mean, I get it. I think people are riding the hype and FOMO of this set. So I mean, that's $133 a box. It's still $30 under MSRP. But right now, I can, like I said, if you're wanting Surging Sparks booster boxes, I can still get them for 103 from at least one of my distributors. So it's not like they're gone. And like I said, I saw it live. I haven't sat down and watched. I'm going to be 100% honest. I just saw the title of it, and I was busy today, and I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch it. $200 for Surging Sparks. I don't think it's gonna. It may eventually, but I don't think it's gonna be something that's gonna happen right away. That's like the Zard one day shooting up to $200. Yeah, I hate the shooting growth. I absolutely do too. The straight up shooting is just never good in general. About 50 Gambit EX promos from Shrouded Fable boxes for 40 cents each. Hey, doesn't take much for that to go up. They go to 80 cents. You just doubled your money. And that could definitely, it's not impossible for those cards, especially them promo cards to move like that for sure. I mean, it may take a long time, but still, if you have a bunch of them and once again, it's like buying penny stocks. You buy a penny stock, you buy them for 1 penny and they go up to 4 cents. You made 4 times your money, and that adds up really, really fast. And it's a good way, if you can find a good tip for the stock market if you're starting out, diversify into a few penny stocks sometimes, and it can really diversify and grow your portfolio fairly quickly. So yeah, once again though, if you guys want Surging Sparks, just hit me up. I can still get them from the distributor. I see there's a couple cases. So just like before, like with the Japanese 151, if you want to, I could get the PayPal from you, and then I could just ship them to you when I get them. And just shoot them through. So it's not that big of a deal. Let's see. Going down here, where was I? Here. I hear you. I sold a Zard for 100. Yeah. Good evening, gents. Blitzkrieg started buying promos in bulk, especially cool art. I agree. I've been holding on to quite a bit of them, like that new Greninja, the Gambit, the Kingdra. I've been pulling those as well. I really think that there's going to be a market for those type of artworks in the future. They're really, really good-looking art. And I always said that they really did Shrouded Fable a disservice by pulling out Kingdra and pulling out Greninja and putting it in his promos versus in the set, because there really was the best artwork of that set, the best chases, in my opinion, in that set were in the promo boxes. So if you wanted it, you just bought a promo box and you got the artwork you wanted. You really didn't have to work too hard to get that. It wasn't like you were opening thousands of packs to try and find them particular cards. Let's see. Blitzkrieg, or iFOMO, he says, Blitzkrieg, I'm doing the same. Grading a few, at least breaking even on the initial purchases. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. If you can find some really clean ones, get them graded. The graded ones usually do fairly well, and if you got 40 cents a piece and you can sell one for $40, you're going to make some really decent value at that point. Really good EV on those ones, too. Really good value, inside of that particular opportunity. My phone, I'm just going to kind of skip because some of these guys are just talking back and forth. Knights are 50-50, LOL, crack, resend, exactly. That's what I mean. It's just, but you pay that cost to crack and resend. That's the only thing that really, really sucks about that. Let's see, Pokemon. Interesting note, I sent in a very valuable card to PSA and came back a 8.5. Sent in 60 more cards and not a single 0.5. Really, at PSA you got a 0.5? I didn't even know it did it. I wonder if that was a misprint, because an 8.5, they don't do 0.5 scales at PSA. It's always straight grade. That's weird. Misprinted. You got a really valuable card there because it might be misprinted. I subbed 184 on my most recent. Did I miss something back here? Oh yeah, he's just talking about. Okay. Altcoin, I'm accumulating PSA 10 milk tanks. There you go. That killer Pokemon from the game. Oh, I hated fighting Milk Tank. That was such a beast. Pokechef, how you doing, bud? How's it going? Let's see. Just going through here. All right, so I think I'm back down in here. So I got Grim the Nerd here. He's Grim Nerd's. I think my first sub was 29 to 30. I think that's how they buttered us up. Yeah, gave us a really easy one the first time, just really smooth. Here, really easy to grade, guys. And all of a sudden, they just beat you to death after that. I think I'm about 85 PSA 10s, but I was very selective on the 180 or whatever. Yeah. Think. Best of luck to Green Name Friend. Yep. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing any. I'm trying to get everyone that's actually a conversation piece. iFOMO making makes me want to try out beginner's luck at BGS. Yeah, you might get some black labels out of it at BGS, or CGC get some pristine 10s. And the nerd, the One Piece promo I got from them covered the annual fee, so I won't complain. Yeah, sometimes that will happen. I'm not saying that for a lot of people, that for people that have graded continuously, the PSA, the $99 isn't a good value. I mean, just like I said, if you're sending like 75 cards or 50 cards plus right now, you are getting value at the $99. I'm saying that there are a lot of people out there right now that just don't have the money to send 50 cards. Even when I started out, I wasn't able to send 50 cards. I didn't have that backing, that value behind me to be able to do that. Now my submissions are like 100 a time. Sometimes 150 cards a time pretty regularly. That's like that was pretty much almost once a month. But when I first started, there was no way I could not do 50 cards. Would have been impossible for like my first submission, or when I first started going into the grading side. There just was not the money backing behind me to be able to do that. And especially if one of those cards were to hit that was a really high dollar card, you didn't think it was going to. That was the other thing that I always worried about, is I was doing some WotC cards back then and doing some of those cards that it was probably not very likely they would get a 10, but if they did, the value of it would be, like $2,000. Well, if I can't afford to send more than like 20 cards in, and all of a sudden that hits $2,000, and PSA upcharges me for that $2,000 card, I got to come up with more money. I may not have that. And then what do you do? Then what's your options at that point in time? So those are things to really consider as a new grader. Those are all things that are there as fear, but then on top of it, they're kind of pricing it out, so you have to send a large quantity in order to get these discounts. And that $99 membership doesn't matter. You're paying 20. If you're sending less than 50, you're paying like 20. I think it's $22 a card if I remember right. But you're paying $22 a card for 50 or less, and that doesn't matter if you're a member or not. You're getting that same price. The only thing that the membership is getting you is if you're doing 50 plus. So if you're doing 50 plus, the membership has value. If you're doing 50 or less, the $99 membership has no value. You're paying the same as anybody that's sending less than 50 cards. So at a time. And that's at a time. That isn't like 50 cards for the year. That's 50 cards at a time. So that's also something to be considering when it comes down to that as well. So it's just changed the market a little bit. And I'm speaking on probably 2 weeks ago knowledge right now. I haven't gone to PSA today and rechecked where the prices were, but I was on there when I was sick, so that was 2 weeks ago, and there was that information up there. So, and that's what they were still at when I talked about that a couple weeks prior to that as well. So nothing's really changed on that line yet. Let's see here. We have iFOMO. These are the plays. Green. You see that BGS, Gingy, that 3.14 pulled for me. Broke my heart. Still a beautiful card. Blitzkrieg. I'm surprised One Piece is taking off. One Piece. I'm a fan, but that show has no business being that hyped. Same feeling. I feel the same. I understand that it's a really old popular. I mean, I used to watch it when I was in college. It's an older anime. I personally don't see the hype behind it. I always figured that hype would fall more on Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion, just because I've just always liked Dragon Ball Z anime and the show a lot more than I ever did One Piece. And obviously that doesn't seem to be the opinion of a lot of people out there, but that's just my opinion. I'd rather watch DBZ and DBZ Super and stuff than rather than watch One Piece. Grim the Nerd Blitzkrieg, it is. I feel Bandai's printing practices are starting to push away collectors, and they will. That's what my concern was with Bandai all along is that they have a tendency to do some really weird printing things that really do tick off collectors, because right when you think that things are settled down, you've got a good collection piece, you're going to be able to build that collection and have value in it. Here comes Bandai with more reprints of a particular product, and then the value of your collection goes down right away. Grim the Nerd, or Green Emoji Dude. Last good anime was the Creepy Little Thing. I watched Ninja Scroll multiple times, and those weird tree people are so weird. Grim the Nerd, 80% Pokemon, 20% Lucana for my sealed. Pokemon has the nostalgia. Lucana has the potential to moonshot if it catches on. Yeah, and I feel that too. Lucana is, like I've said, Lucana is one of those things that I'm really, really enjoying a little bit more and more. In general, I feel that Lorcana is going to do well. I just would love to see it really catch on and continue to grow. I love seeing the TCG market growing with more women in it, in my opinion. Seeing women get into a TCG to me is got value in itself, because the tendency is if someone gets into it and starts understanding a TCG, they may move the Pokemon, because there are cute Pokemon. There are cute characters in Pokemon. That's someone in Lorcana who's just starting the TCG world because it's princesses. So they understand princesses. Little girls like princesses. Moms like princesses with their girls. It takes them back to that childhood of watching Cinderella and Little Mermaid and all of these, parts of Disney that were out there, and growing that particular side of the TCG. And it gets that good starter TCG to maybe add more women into like the Pokemon TCG. Do I think that they'll go into like more of the hardcore like Magic and Flesh and Blood and that? Probably not, but I could definitely see that being I want to say a starter drug for them to move into Pokemon, because of the fact that Pokemon is kind of still got cute characters. They've got that slight cuteness factor that people do enjoy with the characters that they have, and Lorcana could be a starting point for them, and that growth point could be going into Pokemon in the future. But that's just something that I could potentially see when it comes down to Lorcana actually helping Pokemon and also growing itself. And it could be a really good avenue for that. Let's see. Blitzkrieg, as long as it doesn't turn into Lorcana and MTG, they might print it to the ground. Yeah. Yeah, if they don't turn it into, so far they've been good. I will say Lorcana's been pretty good at not doing reprints. So they've just been kind of moving forward, moving to the next set, which is a good thing. I see big potential with Lorcana. I do too. Grim the Nerd, Lorcana has lots of potential though. If I had a time machine to go back and buy the first edition Pokemon, I would. First chapter, Lorcana is still well within reach, in my opinion. It is absolutely. Masonberry, yes, I did miss you in Chicago. I actually had to go up to Duluth for a family matter. So I like I said, when I was there on Tuesday, I didn't think I was going to be able to make that round trip back, and I couldn't. I was going to try even come for one day, but I just wasn't into it when after going north. So just couldn't make that round trip in time. Blitzkrieg, you the guy. iFOMO, exactly 100%. Blitzkrieg, you gonna see Northwoods on the corner selling them booster box quick sells? Probably not. Ivan, welcome on in. Finally made it to a live video. Thank you so much, Ivan, for joining us. Glad to see ya. iFOMO attendees, Pokemon Mommy, I'll grab a case of Surge from you. I was only able to get one from my distro. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, hit me up. You can hit me up in the Discord. Just message me that you want it. I can send you a PayPal, and I'll order it. You send the PayPal, and I'll just order it, and I'll send it out to you when I get it. You won't get it. I won't get it until like Friday, the day of release. That's how it typically works when I get it. So you won't get it till the following week. So the second I get it, I just turn it and burn it, and I'll send it right out to anybody that orders it. So if you're looking for this for like a pre-release or the day of release thing, I won't have it for that, but I should be able to get it around to you within the following week. They did the whole set backwards. It's still good, but could have been great. Yeah, exactly. Pokey Chef, thank you so much once again for joining in. Glad to see you in here as always. Glad to see you in the lives. I'm gonna skip some of those. iFOMO. This is the Cabal, Chef. Welcome. Yep, the Cabal is here. Hey, now I try and play nice. I try and. I'm not pushing anybody's buttons. I'm here to give my knowledge. I'm here to have a discussion. I'm not here to start fights. There's no point. No point in getting into those little scuffles. PokeNufo exclusive. Thank you so much. Once this crown gimmick goes away, do you think we will get thick Pokemon next era? I wish the crown gimmick would go away. The crown looks, I don't like it. I think the crown needs to leave. I mean, I get it's almost like a rainbow terrasolized now. Cool. We brought back rainbows pretty much in Surging Spark with this Pikachu and stuff, but you could ditch the crown. I mean, the crown is just tacky in my opinion. I think that's why I have a really hard time liking even the Charizards in this set. I like 151 Charizard because it's just a standard Charizard. Everybody's talking about even the Paldean Fates Charizard. It's better than Obsidian Flame, I do agree, but it's still not great. I can't get behind the whole thing on their head. It's like, couldn't you have come up with some other way to show terrorization besides putting a crown on this? Like going full shine or the rainbow color. Fine, great. Yeah, you got a rainbow colored Charizard, a little bit different than what we had in the previous eras for rainbow, but make it more of that splotchy, a pastel rainbow. I could get behind that, but get rid of the stupid crown. It just, for a collection, it looks just dumb. That's just me. That's my opinion 100%. The crown looks dumb. Pokemon needs to stop with the crown. Going full dietary tonight and making some nachos, Chef. Go nachos. There we go. Grim the Nerd feel like now is a good time to snag Paldean Fates. Thoughts? I think so. You can still get them at a pretty good value, around that $38 to $40 in ETB. We're not seeing any signs of reprints of any of these sets. I'm really shocked going into the holiday season that we aren't getting more reprints. Even that, the big, huge, Paldea Evolved reprint that we were getting, that huge one that was coming, ended up being a complete flop. I mean, I never even got access to booster boxes. The price dipped on the news for about a week, and the price went up past where it was before the reprint. So, yeah, I'm feeling a lot safer on buying items in the Scarlet and Violet era just because of the lack of reprints. We don't have reprints, which is kind of mind-blowing to me that we don't, because there are sets that could really use a reprint. Twilight Masquerade, a perfect example of a set that really could use a reprint. Number one, it's playable. There's a lot of playing cards now that are going up in value pretty high, and that's a factor in that particular set and a reason for a reprint. Number two, there isn't any available very, very many places at all anymore. It's pretty much all been chewed up and, disappearing. There's some cardboard sleeve blisters still at the store, but it's really not flying off the shelf. So, do I think Paldean Fates is good for an investment right now? I don't think the price is going to go any lower. I think that $38 to $40 booster or ETB is probably where it's been since the release date, and I don't think it's going to go much lower than that. So I still feel safe buying it and not worrying about it crashing in price. And I feel that it can only go up from here. And if we don't get a reprint of it, it will go up. I mean, it's going to, because there is getting to be more popularity. That Charizard seems to be getting chased more. Even on live stream, I'm starting to get more people requesting Paldean Fates again. So it kind of died off, but now people are kind of going back to it and trying to chase them shiny cards, and then baby shinies are getting some popularity behind them again. On top of it, with that Charizard chase and that Bubble Mew chase, so both of them are getting to be really good chases, and people are enjoying to continue to chase those. So request for Paldean Fates is still there. I'm still getting consistent sales on Paldean Fates. It's probably my second most consistent, right behind 151 for sales. I could sell more Twilight Masquerade if I could get it, but it's really difficult to get. I think I can get cardboard sleeve blisters right now of maybe Twilight Masquerade. Let me look real quick. I can get the built-in battle boxes, and yeah, I can get the cardboard sleeves, and ETBs. But everything else is pretty much booster boxes are gone. So Twilight Masquerade booster boxes are not available at Distro right now. And it's one of those sets that I was expecting to hear a reprint announcement for that set coming here in the fall, but it hasn't happened yet. I was expecting to hear even something like Obsidian Flame getting a reprint, or more Paldea Evolved, or I was thinking more Paradox Rift as well, all of which Paradox Rift has got a lot of distributors, so I really don't think that would be one, but Obsidian Flame was one of them, and Paldea Evolved, I was really expecting bigger reprints, and when they announced Paldea Evolved, I wasn't surprised, but it was a pretty lackluster reprint. It really didn't transfer around very far. Big Cheeks Charizard. Paldean Fates reminds me of Shining Fates, Hidden Fates. Yeah, it is. It's all the same concept. Aurora but Supply, what's up, Paldean Fates? See, I can't get ETBs through Distro, so they're pretty well dried up as well. I mean, you can get them on the secondary market still. That's where I mean. You can get them for about $38 to $40 of ETB right now. So, once again, I don't feel it's going to drop any further because that's pretty much the low that it was at any given point. John, thank you so much for dropping in as well. Just sent my first submission with the $10 off special on the 10th, hoping to get a little luck. Just sent 10 Darkrai Umbreon GX promos. Very nice. I like that promo. I actually have that one sitting in my box over here, and I'm considering sending a couple of those out as well, because the value on those as a 10 is very, very good. Once again, if you could get a 10 out of there, you would do extremely well on that. I know it's awful. Good luck, John. Yeah, good luck, my friend. I hope you hit. That'd be awesome for you. Grim the Nerd, I FOMO, but with which one will move like I'm okay with it moving like Hidden Fates? I am too. Hidden Fates would be good. A good move like Hidden Fates would be great on that. Blitzkrieg, you just reminded me I bought 23 boxes of Reshtar GX boxes years back. Yeah. Reshtar is another fairly decent promo as well from that GX Take Team period. Grim the Nerd, I also hope because it was printed to the scale it might dodge a reprint. Maybe wishful thinking. Yeah, so far so good on all the Scarlet and Violet sets. Except for 151. 151 has been the only anomaly to that. It's a tough call because we have a boom coming, allegedly. Yeah. I don't know where it's coming from. I FOMO. I feel like 151 is following the same Hidden Fates, Shining Fates trajectory. I think so. That's where I could get an argument. It's the only set in Scarlet and Violet that's gotten a reprint. It's really going to depend on how Team Rocket and Gym Challenge does, in my opinion. That's my feeling, is how well those two sets do here in the near future are definitely going to determine whether or not they keep hammering 151. If Rocket flops and doesn't perform like they think it will, and they don't see good sales on Team Rocket, the new Rocket set, I think that they will go do a reprint on 151. That's my feelings. I think they're banking on these new sets, that Team Rocket set or the Gym Challenge set may be the one that'll actually take over for that and be their next real print run. And if that happens, I don't know if we'll see another reprint of 151. But just as a reminder, too, we are seeing 151 in the stores. Like I said, ETBs are supposedly showing up this week. So if you are looking for 151 ETBs, watch your Walmarts and Targets. Watch your, different stores where you pick up ETBs from. Because I think I said this at the beginning, but this is a reminder again here. Make sure you're watching for those. Because the ETB is $55 and a $90 value right now, and they're going to go back up. Everything on 151 gets eaten and then goes right back up. Anything 151 distributor is going to be a great play. But yeah, I definitely think It's really going to depend on whether or not these next two, the Rocket set and the set after that, do well. If they do, I feel like they'll back off of 151 a little bit because they've already done 2 decent reprints. They did the original decent release, and then they did a decent reprint now with the 6-pack bundles, the Zapdos EX boxes. They came out with the poster collections. Sounds like we got ETVs coming down the line. I've seen Alakazam EX boxes. I've seen everything but the binder collections and the UPCs. I have not seen anything come of those two, but everything else has gotten some kind of or some product back on it. So let's see, where was I? The thing shot and then moved and went someplace else. Here we go. So we are at, DBZ was great. Yeah, I love DBZ. I still watch DBZ. Actually, my son loves watching DBZ with me, so I'm good with it. LA and Fish follow, but it's not guaranteed, of course. Lorcana is really fun to play as well. PokeChef just kind of learned how to play the game. Lorcana is dope though, and Lorcana has major plans. Everything we want is coming. Lorcana potential is greater than One Piece. Agreed. I just kind of played a little bit of a test deck. They had a deck at the LGS. We were playing Lorcana. I think it's a fairly decent game or easy game to understand. Fairly easy to learn the gameplay mechanics fairly quickly, so that was nice. Especially for beginners and younger people, I could definitely see Lorcana being a fairly decent play and easy for people to get into. Gotta diversify Italian hints. PokeChef. Also, super fun to open because every card is a nostalgia kit. Exactly, especially with the Disney characters and all that in it, for sure. PokeChef 100%, easy 10s, forget about it. Green Emoji Dude, I grew up on Disney movies, and I have no connection to it. I can't think of anything more boring. LOL. Everybody has an opinion. Princess of Peace, thank you so much for joining in. Did anyone else get their Costco exclusive 151 mini tin bundles today? I did not. No, they didn't have any. I checked and had a server go check for me. Yeah, I checked too, and that's what I'm gonna say. No, they weren't here. They weren't available here. Bummer. Not every Costco has them. Very limited locations. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get any here in our either. I had my friend go check, and I told him if there were any of them, pick them up. I gave him. I pretty much told him I would give him an unlimited amount of money to buy as many as he wanted. So for me. But he said there were none there when he went and checked this morning. My two Costco's had nothing. Yep. Don't make Northwoods block you. I don't block anybody. Come on, iFOMO. Princess, even though I supposedly do. I don't have anybody. Well, I take that back. I got one person that was like right when I started my channel was like just being rude. And yeah, that's the only person I have blocked. So I got one person. Get rid of the crowns. I 100% agree. Those need to go. Rainbows sucked before. Prince of Peace. I love the Palladian Fate Zard. It's sick in person, but I agree. I don't pay attention anymore. Grim the Nerd. I miss the days of Pokemon when we're Pokemon. Those were the days. Us in our rocking chairs on our... Exactly. I remember the day when Pokemon... We're getting there, especially if they keep adding Pokemon. We're going to have, like, a Pokemon brick pretty quick. I mean, we got a pile of sand. We got a sand castle. Why not make a Pokemon brick? They're getting there. We got key rings. Yeah, we're just living the dream with all these things. Blitzkrieg. I asked a guy at Costco today since I was eating nearby. Guy said a lady came in and bought 10 boxes, so then I proceeded to buy 2 hot dogs and a pizza for later. Still a win in my opinion. Washing machine Rotom is too long a name. We could go all day on that one. Nice. Won't reveal how many I bought today. LOL, but I bought them to collect. Oh, I'm sure you did. That's what we all say. I'm just collecting. I'll turn into Yu-Gi-Oh! Names some of these. Yeah, I'll make Spyglass. Yeah, exactly. It's this. the whole top is full and the lettering is like 2 font. You know, what's this one? Blue Eyes, Red Dragon. Blah, 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 blah. She keep going. It's like, oh my goodness. My brother likes Yu-Gi-Oh, and he was showing me some of the names. Same thing. I'm like, my God. Either I'm old or that lettering is way too small. Bought a PC ETB. Just got it in this morning. Okay. Paldean Fates. Very nice. Eric, thank you so much for joining. I think it's funny how everyone forgot about Stellar Crown so quickly. That Squirtle and Bulba will be huge in a few months. Yeah, be honest with you, it didn't even sell very well. As funny as it sounds, I bought 2 of the cardboard sleeve blister boxes, and I sold one pretty quick the first week, and then the second week, that was like, people are over it. So, weird. But I did pull out of a case, I pulled two Squirtles, 2 Bulbasaurs out of one case. So there's 2 per 144 packs. Well, at least the first case. I haven't pulled any out of this new one, and I mean, like I said, I'm down to like, there's still 100 left in here, so there's still quite a few. Getting closer to the end. Let's see, we got, where was I? iFOMO 100%, Grim the Nerd. If they keep their eye forward on the future sets and don't reprint, I will be okay with that. I would absolutely be okay with that. I don't think I could do Paldean. I love STX, but I'll stick to the Japanese one on that. Yeah, I actually do like the Japanese one a little bit better for the Paldean Fates. But, Ma, thank you so much for dropping in. Do you see 151 having any playability? The Charizard did for a little bit. There is a little bit of playability for some of the cards in there as well. It's the bosses. The Giovanni's Charisma actually is really good with. What was the other set? It actually worked well with the a couple of the Twilight Masquerade cards. So some of the cards do have playability in those decks. So yeah, there's a little bit. It's not very heavy. Eric, I pre-ordered some premium boxes of Stellar Crown. 6 to be exact. Yep, I got a few of them coming as well for the Terrapogus EX premium collections and the Greninja ones. I got a couple of those as well. I think I got 3 of the Greninja, and then I got 6 of the Terrapogus ones. I see the Zard in Paldean Fates could go to the moon, like Champion's Path or Burning Shadows. Maybe. Actually, the 151 Zard is going nuts. That's almost $200, and the Japanese version is over $100 now, too. Those two have been accelerating really, really quick. iFOMO, or were those originally very, very expensive on release? They were very, very expensive on release. Champion's Path ones, they were close to like $700-800 on release for the Rainbow and the shiny version of that one. I think the shiny one was a little bit higher at almost like $850, and the Rainbow was all the way up to, I want to say it was like $650, $700, and then they both kind of came back down to that $200 range. But everything went crazy like that. I mean, that was right. Champion's Path came out right at the beginning of the boom. I mean, it was like a month or two before the peak of the boom. So it just, Champion's Path wasn't even really available on the shelf. It disappeared so stupid fast that it was very difficult to get. Hidden Fates, like Hidden Fates ETBs, they just disappeared. You could buy all the collection boxes, but you could never buy the ETBs. At least where I was. Let's see. We aren't going to talk about the Zard or Bubble Mew. I have a case behind me and need to preserve. You must be strong. Very, very strong. Green emoji. I haven't. Sorry, Eric. Night Splits. Those premium boxes will be slept on, and the pack selection is great. Good to know. Kanto Green, welcome in, bud. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to have you into the chat here this evening. Yeah, boo, you should put ghosts, man. It's Halloween. You gotta put the ghosts in the chat. Stellar Crown sucks. You know, the turtle is the, what is the one guy, the pile of turtle gems is not that good of a card. Kanto Green, you have got any big, the Poncho Pikachus yet? I have some, but I'm not selling the Poncho Pikachus. You're not getting them from me, Kanto. I will not give in. How many cases of Surging Sparks did you end up getting? Hope to get my pre-order of 11 in. I actually only bought 2. So I bought 2 personally. I bought 2 of the sleeve blisters, 2. And actually the distributor called up and gave me a better deal on ETBs for $30 an ETB case. So that's what I mean. ETBs are pretty available. Like, the distributor called and asked me if I would take a case. He gave me a deal at 30 instead of the normal like 32.50 or 30. He gave me $2.75 off, which means I can sell them at least get rid of them if I need to, or I can pull a couple promos out of them like I want to do and see if I may possibly grade those on my next submission. Let's see. So yeah, I didn't buy a lot of cases. I just don't buy a lot of cases of Scarlet and Violet right now. Blitzkrieg, Bubble Mew grew 80 plus overnight. Everyone bought it up raw. Grim the Nerd, there's the Ghosts and Skulls. Perfect. Grim the Nerd. Glad the Bubble Mew took the first spot. Unique art. Zard is still cool though. Absolutely agree. I think it's a cool Zard. But I do agree. I think the Bubble Mew is a really, really cool artwork. I enjoy that Bubble Mew. I think it's a really, really cool art in general. I'm a nerd. Booster boxes or PC ETBs for Surging Sparks. What's your call? PC ETBs. That's going to be my call. Blitzkrieg, nothing beats good old Zardy. At the end of the day, no, it doesn't. Now it's PC ETBs. Yep, I agree. PC ETBs this generation seem to be the one. Everything else is just really slow, but they don't reprint, which is awesome. Remember CT scanning. There you go, Blitzkrieg. Or green emoji. Just go and send them in and get them CT scan. Find the Bubble Mew and just go specifically for that ETB. You know, pay $300 in ETB, scan it, and then pull that $80 Bubble Mew out, and you'll be way ahead. It makes perfect sense. I'm 100% behind you. And then get neither. You do a whole case of 10 and don't get either no Zard or Bubble Mew in the whole case. That'd be my luck. Oh, $300 a piece. I'll find one. Nope, none. I didn't get one in there. 10 ETBs, $3,500. No Zard or Bubble Mew. Do you see Team Rocket possibly being a letdown with no dark types? Yes. I was very disappointed with no dark types. I couldn't believe they did a Team Rocket set with no dark types. I'm actually very, very disappointed with that. I was hoping we would see dark Pokemon, and I was hoping with the new set Z to A coming out that I was hoping they might even bring back light types. You know, go back to Neo Genesis with light types. I thought that would have been a really cool turnaround and coming back and doing that. So yeah, I personally was a little bit let down by the fact that they didn't have that. I was really hoping for dark type Pokemon to make a return, but such is life. We don't get everything we want. So yeah, like I said, Pokemon Center ETB is definitely my number one thing right now. I'm just looking real quick. Yeah, because they don't have anything up for the Rocket set yet, so I'm actually surprised. We usually start seeing that stuff. Let's see. Also, concerning it doesn't. Well, that's just it. That was my biggest thing is that I said that. I know a lot of people said that I was giving misinformation on that, and I got a couple comments that people said I didn't know what I was talking about. But I was looking at the time frame of the release of that Team Rocket set, and I was kind of thinking it could have been. And I put out there that my feelings were it was going to be a specialty set before it was really announced, just based on the time frame of it. And sure enough, we're not going to get a booster box. I'm very disappointed in the no booster boxes too. No dark types, no booster boxes are a real killer when it comes down to Team Rocket, in my opinion, which might be a huge factor on that part. But there is a really nice Reshiram card in there. That's a little bit of a bonus. Or is that in Surging Sparks? I thought that was in Team Rocket. Is the Reshiram in Surging Sparks, or is that Team Rocket? Now I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think it's in Reshiram. Let me check. Returning TCG Team Rocket. Yeah, that's in Team Rocket. Okay. Thought it was. Had to check. Yeah, they got that cool Rush Ram card in Team Rocket. I think that's going to be a really, really hot card. Hey, how about the Team Rocket set is going to be bad? If that's the case, oh my. Yeah, no dark, no booster box. Very, very big letdowns. The fact they made this a specialty set, a holiday set there is kind of depressing overall. I was really hoping for another booster box of Team Rocket, because then that would give me an incentive to go back and buy like an original Team Rocket booster box and a Team Rocket EX booster box to say I have all three of the booster boxes. So yeah, I've kind of a letdown on that fact. Yep, no dark type, only Rocket. Grim the Nerd, if it bombs, Eevee and 151 skyrocket even more. Exactly. Now you're getting celebration vibes. Yep. But yeah, I could definitely see the Eevee set, Eevee 2.0, doing really well. That definitely could be the case if Team Rocket bounces. Do I think it's going to be a complete flop? I don't think it's going to be a complete flop, but I definitely don't. Without the booster boxes and without the dark types, I really think that that's going to be a big drag on that particular set. Even for me, it's already become a little bit more of a drag, because how do you have a Team Rocket set without dark type Pokemon? I mean, that's just kind of a no-no. I mean, that's why Team Rocket exists, is for the dark type Pokemon. Even in Pokemon Go, it's dark type Pokemon with Team Rocket. Why wouldn't you have dark type Pokemon in a Team Rocket set? It's like sitting there saying that it's a fish and it don't need water. I mean, no, you need to have dark type with Team Rocket. It don't make sense. But yeah, that's just my opinion. We'll see. Rush Ram, like I said, the Rush Ram card's really, really hot. I think that's going to be the determining factor. Is the pull rate of that Rush Ram card could really be a determining factor for how well Team Rocket performs. That might be a case on that. I'm taking a look here because I'm just looking there. There's not really showing much other than that. I mean, they're showing old stuff in the old Team Rocket, but here, what's this one? No, that's a Kyogre. These are all old cards. I'm just looking at the poster showing older cards. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's kind of what my feelings are. It'd be really interesting to see how well that Rush Ram performs. The Rush Ram card's performance is going to really determine how well Team Rocket does. My fix. Tap on the desk. That fixes my camera. So, but yeah, that's my feelings on that anyways. I'm going to answer Ma's question here, and then I gotta get going. Ma says, bought 2 Primal Clash booster boxes like years ago for $550 each and forgot about it, and now they finally went up. Well, that's the problem. That's the thing is that's been my position on Pokemon. You hear some other people saying that XY is going to do fantastic, and that the packs or the boxes are fantastic, and everything goes up in value so fast in a Pokemon TCG that you'll see value in a year or two. No, that's not at all what happens. You know, if you were here prior to the boom and you were in the hobby prior to 2019, 2020, you know a little bit of knowledge is that the last boom was in 2016. I wasn't here for that one, but even talking to individuals that were here for that will tell you that it wasn't a huge boom. It was nothing like 2020. Even that was a slow, and then they killed every one of the boom items, like XY Evolutions and Roaring Skies, with massive reprints. So they just doused it and killed it anyways. So yeah, like you said, your Primal Clash right now is at $600. It really hasn't moved from $550 for a really, really long time. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right on that one. But yeah, that's something that personally, oh, darn camera, work. What is going on with the camera? Got an hour in and now the camera's freaking out. But yeah. It last sold for $1,000. On eBay? Because I'm looking on Pokédata. Pokédata.io. So if I go to Pokédata.io and I go Primal Clash. So if I go to Primal Clash. Sets. I want to see the product. Go back to sealed product, Primal Clash. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, here's one sold on auction for 997. All the previous ones were around 650 to 750. So there was one outlier, and it was actually bid. So that was a bid auction. It went for $992. So we'll see if that price holds. 750s before that, 650s. Here's some 590s, 540s. They're all over the place in the last few months. So I did the same thing with TM. Just when they got here. Idiot indeed. Yeah. But all right, guys. Well, thank you guys, everybody. It's been hanging out with me. One thing too, if you go to NorthwoodsTCG.com, we are doing some new things too on there for if you're collecting or trying to display. We do have the Pokeball displays that are behind me. They are up. Gavin, if you do watch this, yours are all shipped. I got them all out of here. We're also making cool fun little trinket stuff too. Like these Pokeballs, we're doing the regular ones and the Premier Balls now. So these are kind of a fun little display item. We're sending a little stand. They come with a little stand so you can put them on your table. We're 3D printing things now too. The other thing is we're doing like multicolored like this. If you don't want to get cards graded and want to display, these are little stands that we're now 3D printing to encapsulate your cards. NorthwoodsTCG.com. And then the last thing is we're doing some of these. Here they are. Just the holders. So if you want to just hold these cards out, these are just top loader holders. So you can take your top loader. They got the slot built in them for just a standard top loader, and then you can hold them up for display. So we're starting to work a little bit more on 3D printing stuff. If you have items you want for display, let me know, because I do have design software too, and I can run and actually create something. So if you want something specialty for you or for your display or your shelf, or you want to hold something a certain way, just let me know as well. I'm working on some other displays too, like the Pokeball ones, possibly a little bit different too. So top loaders are sending, or the top loader stands like this are like, I think they're like $5 or $4 for 10. And then these are a little bit more. They come with the top loader, and then it holds it right in the center. So yeah, we got this. So these top loaders like this holds your cards up. If you don't want to 3D print things, they're a good way to display. We've just got flat colors and then the multicolors for those. 3D print Big Booty Zard. We'll go to the moon. Hey, I could probably do that. That'd be a fun one to design and send out. Big Booty Charizard or Pikachu as well. Do the Big Booty set. The Thickachu. Thickazard and Thickachu. That'd be great. So, but yeah, we're kind of adding that stuff in. These aren't up. I'll have these up here in the next couple days for the Pokeballs. So we'll have the standard Pokeball, and we've got the Premier Ball already figured out as well. We'll be working on a Great Ball and Ultra Ball here in the near future. So those are just projects we're currently working on. Working a little bit more on the 3D printing side as well. So my son's getting into that and having fun, and my wife helps with that. They aren't. If I were to draw them up, I guarantee that they're not patented. So I bet you if I looked at some of the sites, I could probably find someone that might have even pre-designed that. Because there's people that just pre-design something and then you pay them, $3 for it, and then you can just get the files. Or if I need to, I can 3D design something. So like I said, if you've got something you want to do for a display or a stand, I can definitely work with you. You can get a hold of me, and I can work with you to design something. I can mock something up, and we can make changes to make it what you want. So that's definitely a potential on that for sure. But other than that, guys, thank you everybody that's hanging out with us here this evening. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys are hanging out with us here. See if we can get them likes up a little bit. And once again, if you would like to support the channel, make sure you do so with the like button, number one. Number two, share the channel. And last but not least, consider joining the membership to the channel. It's always appreciated to do so and help us out on this end, and enjoy your company, of course, here in the lives. Thank you, everybody that's joined today. Other than that, guys, I will be here next Tuesday for sure. As of right now, I don't have a school board meeting as of Tuesday, but regardless, if I'm late, I'll try to put it up on the community post as well. if I'm running behind, I'll still try and do a live with you guys as well. So thank you everybody for joining once again. Greatly appreciated to have you in here as always. And last but not least, make sure you guys hit that like button one last time, and we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.